Good morning, Louisa Whitley here. One of the good things about mediation is that in an initial meeting with a mediator will explain to you all the different processes and ways that exist to resolve issues that crop up when you separate. Firstly, because if you are coming to mediation as a precursor to issuing court proceedings, so you're attending a MIAMS, a Mediation Information and Assessment meeting, that I've made a video on previously, then it's important that you are aware of your other avenues before you go to court. But even with clients who come to me who aren't necessarily looking for a MIAMS but are genuinely interested in mediation and how that can work for them, I also explain all the different processes, because I found that there is an idea that if mediation doesn't work, then you have to go to court, and that really isn't the case. And I think that it adds an unhelpful pressure to clients in mediation. So at the outset, I explain all the different ways in which you can resolve matters, and I thought it would be helpful to make a video about them. So as well as mediation, there is also something called collaborative practice, and that is a bit like mediation in the sense that you deal with things more by way of talking round a table, but instead of having a mediator, each person has a specially trained lawyer. And those lawyers help to support the parties through that process in a very much non-confrontational and supportive way. They also often bring other experts and professionals into collaborative practice, such as financial advisors or family consultants who can help deal with short-term conflict issues or when there's something that people are struggling to get past. As well as mediation and collaborative practice, it's also still possible to negotiate with another person through solicitors, or indeed yourselves through communication going backwards and forwards. What those three processes have in common is that they are what's called self-determining. So you and your ex-partner work together to find a way forward that's going to work for both of you and for any children that you have together. The other processes that exist are where somebody else makes a decision for you about what happens next. And usually that's because people can't make the decisions themselves. I think it's fair to say that most people prefer outcomes that they have decided on themselves rather than one that's been thrust upon them by somebody who basically doesn't know them. So you also have the court process, which most people have some kind of understanding of, I think. There's also something called arbitration, and if going to court is like having an operation on the NHS, arbitration is like going private. In the court process, everyone uses the same process, whether you've got £5 million in the bank or £5 in the bank, whether you've got loads of issues about your children or whether there's just one small thing that you haven't been able to resolve. And it takes as long as it takes to go through the court process. In arbitration, you can tailor it much more to your individual circumstances. So, for example, you could say, well, we really haven't got many things. We've only got a house and some income and a small pension each, so we don't think we need to complete the 25-page Form E. We'd rather just provide documents that evidence our financial situation or show our financial situation. And in arbitration, you get to pick your judge. So there's various solicitors and barristers who are qualified arbitrators, and you can either pick one because they've been recommended to you, or the Institute of Arbitrators, the IFLA, can also pick one for you. And within arbitration, you can set a time frame, so you're not dependent on how long it takes. You can actually say we want a decision within a set period of time. I hope that's helpful in explaining the different processes that exist. It's not essential to remain in the same process for the whole time. So if you've started down one road and it stops working for you, you can look at exploring other avenues. For example, if you resolved most issues in mediation, but there was just one thing that was a sticking point, you could then ask an arbitrator to decide that for you if you couldn't. So I hope that that's helpful. If you do need any more information about mediation, then please get in touch with me via my website, lkwfamilymediation.co.uk. Thank you.